Hi Leo, and welcome to your energy forecast for the week beginning the 24th of April 2017. This week we're going to pull out a 7-card reading. So far the energies have seemed very heavy, really slow moving, but let's see what the cards reveal for you this week. First card up we have Temperance, and with the Queen of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, High Priestess, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Cups. So the first card up is Major Arcana. We have 2 Major Arcana in this spread today, and that's the High Priestess and the Temperance card. Now Temperance talks about needing to get in balance, needing to get a good balance of our yin and yang energies, balancing out of our chakras. We could be looking at being in a very good balance, feeling in a very good place, having the faith, hope and positivity that this card promises us, having patience regarding a situation at the minute. So I will be patiently waiting around for something at the minute, Leo. And the next card we have is the Queen of Cups. So this could be a mature energy of the water signs, Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be anyone else at all. It could be us feeling in our emotional element and feeling loving, feeling gracious, feeling open to love. It could be us sat in our emotions and allowing ourselves to feel our emotions. With the Queen of Cups as well, we are talking male or female energy, but we're talking about being in touch with our intuition in this card. She knows her gut feeling, she knows her intuition can be on par, so maybe our intuition's telling us something at the minute. In the Temperance card, the patience, the hope, the faith, and attaining that good balance that we need would open our intuition. We'd have that chakra working as efficiently as every other. Are we aware of that at this time? Do we realise our intuition is on key regarding something at the moment? The planetary alignments at the minute are very favourable for this week, towards there being a big recognition of intuition in every side for all of us this week. So maybe we are listening to our intuition and realising we do know something, we do think something. Intuition is trying to tell us something about emotional situation that we're in. Have patience, let it come through, sit in it, experience it. And it's sat next to the 5 of Pentacles. Now the 5 of Pentacles talks about a feeling of being left out in the cold. Though again, like any situation we're in, it is actually a choice. They usually pictured outside of a church, or in my Mythic Tarot, they're outside a little house that does look quite plentiful actually. And all they have to do is turn around and knock on the door. The aid, the company, whatever way that we're feeling we're excluded from something, it's just on the other side of that door. We've just got to knock and ask for that assistance. But the card depicts a feeling of being left out in the cold, being ignored, being missed, overlooked, not included in something. Then we move to the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords can talk about an air sign, a Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. But again, not necessarily so. If we are touching our emotions regarding a situation, if there is something around us that is emotionally affecting us, and our intuition tells us that there's something not right in a situation, we are being excluded, maybe somebody's doing something behind us back, and they don't want us to know about it, but intuition tells us we do know. Then we're going to change our mindset. We're going to change our perspective, and which is what the Queen of Swords talks about. She's been through the battle, she's been in the past, but she's learned her mistakes. And when she realises, when she sees that somebody is not being forthright and honest with her, she can cut them off as easy as pie. She can walk away and not think about it twice. This woman's got good boundaries. So are we just toughening up? Are we speaking our truth here afterwards because we know what the situation is? And the card next to that, again, is actually, your second major arcana, the High Priestess, which again does talk about intuition, tapping into our intuition. As I say, the planetary alignments this week are fabulous for that, for everybody to tap into their own intuition and work situations out in an intuitive way, or receive the guidance that they need. Now the High Priestess again does talk to all the she talks to the moon and the moon cycle, so that could be relevant. There could be something happening in this moon cycle for you guys. We have the new moon on Wednesday, so it could be stating our truths, setting out exactly what we want for the new moon, in the cycle of the new moon. But the moon rules our emotions, so we're talking about, again, this Queen of Cups and the emotional side of things. But the High Priestess does talk of using our intuition, being very in touch with our intuition. It could be seeking counsel from an intuitive to get an insight on something. Though for myself, I do think, it's about tapping into our own energies and our own powers. She can know a lot of secrets, so maybe we do know a lot of secrets, or we've got a lot of secrets. She knows things can be hidden. She knows not all truths can be spoken. So this woman would instantly know if we're feeling left out in a situation, exactly why and what that is. And then the card that follows that, we have the Six of Pentacles, which talks about peace and balance, but finding a situation where there's equal give and take. There's an equal exchange of energy. Now it could be within the work factor. This could be a work situation. Just on the thought of that, our everyday job is part of our family, our security, our stable, our tangible things around us. We could have been in a situation where, see, with this card, you could also look at, because we are in a feeling of loss, we could have maybe lost financially somehow out of this situation. But if that's the case, we've made the natural progression from the 5 to the 6 to finding a situation where it is equal give and take, and that lost capacity is no longer there. And that leads to the 10 of Cups. Now the 10 of Cups talks about total emotional fulfillment. It can be the marriage card, the ultimate relationship card, the happy ever after card. But it doesn't necessarily mean towards love. We can be so happy and loving about a family situation that's come right, or finances, if we are focused on finances and our earnings. The 10 of Cups talks of a completion in emotions. So is the Queen here as a signifier of, to say that we've mastered our emotions in this last cycle that we've done. We have completed it. And this 10 of Cups turns back to the Ace of Cups, and we have a brand new emotional beginning in some area. What I do see here is we've had the patience, we've had the healing, we're in a very balanced position. We have this Queen of Cups, so we shift into the energy, the emotional energy, and our intuition kicks in. The fears, the thoughts of being in a place of lack, or losing something, or being left out of something, are brought to mind. There's clarity brought to that situation as to why we're feeling that way. With that insight and intuition, we then move on to take on the energy of an air sign, our mental attributes, our conversation skills. This woman speaks the truth. She has very good boundaries. She's not a woman to be messed with. So after our intuition and being in our emotional element, we come to a realization that we're being left out in a situation, or it just doesn't feel like right, we're not really being included in something. We're feeling that even though we've got this situation, we're still at some kind of a lack in our lives. There's still something missing. We realise what that is, and we come back out of our healing and cleansing energies with more of a logical, rational, clear thinking, a clear mind, firm boundaries, and prepared to speak our truth. Tap into our inner wisdom and speak our truth. Which again would be backed up by the High Priestess being right at the side of her. She's fair looking at this Queen. She's looking across this way as she lays on the deck, as if to say, speak your truth, but speak the your intuition. Let it be known you know the truth. With that done, we then move on, an advancement from the Five of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles, to a place where there's equal energy exchange in this situation, which makes us happy. It brings us to exactly where we wanted to be. Now we can sit in this Five of Cups energy as long as we want to. We can sit there all day long. We can sit there for weeks. Because it's a mindset. It's how we're thinking and reacting to the situation. And probably it's an emotional reaction to the situation that's holding us in that Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles energy. But if we can clear that, work through it with the intuition that's been given to us this week, by tapping in to our own mysteries, we can get clarity of thought with this Queen of Swords. We can get clarity of speech. We can use our inner wisdom to move forward. Again, a situation where there is equal give and take, which makes the whole situation happy, and a new start, a new emotional start somewhere. The Ten of Cups in this line under the Queen of Chalices, a High Priestess, then the Ten of Cups. I could quite easily say, yeah, this is saying clean slate. Clean slate to start again. There's a lot of peace and harmony with the Temperance. Well, the Ten of Cups have come out again, so yeah, we're definitely going the right way. We're definitely completing a cycle. Now, as these cards fell, I would say yes. The Ten of Cups came out as a yes, straight on top of the original Ten of Cups. The Three of Wands talks about growth. It talks about we've seen the possibilities in the two, and when we expand to the three, we've got more enthusiasm. We can actually do more here than we could do with the two. I mean, with 3 wands we can actually make a TP, where with 2 wands we were looking more like a bunting. So we can do a lot more here. It does talk of travel and relationships. It can talk of weddings. It can talk of celebrations. But it shows having a dynamic attitude. Finding ingenious ways to problem solve. And it talks about thinking lateral and being creative in communication, but getting that message across, which all talks to the Queen of Swords, what we said with the Queen of Swords. So yes, it brings energy and enthusiasm to move on. So once we've reached the completion of this Ten of Cups cycle and spoke our truths, and it could be to the Queen of Swords. I'm just pulling the way I feel it in. I don't feel either of these two are actually another person. I think the elements of our persona we're working through this week. And the final card is the Death card. Now the Death talks about that getting to the 10 and completions. It talks about getting to the world and completing. A cycle has come naturally to an end, and you've just got to let it go, let the transformation occur and come out the butterfly. And from that card and this reading, I would say the transformation that we've been working on this time was awakening our emotional but intuitive side, heightening our perceptions. We could very well be very intuitive anyway, but we're just upgrading. We're getting more clarification that our intuition is spot on. And I do think it's regarding around a situation where you feel there's a loss. We may feel that we've lost our intuition, we've lost our connection, but it is there, and it's being shown to us again in the High Priestess card. So if that's the case and we feel like we're losing our connection to the universal energies, you're not, it's there. It could be the looking at it as a lack of, we've lost something. Could be the mindset and the block by looking at things as a loss. We're still looking at things in a negative perspective. Change and transform that process, that part of our persona. And we can move forward, speaking our truth, relaying or living our newfound wisdom. What came to us in our intuition. Maybe it changed our thought patterns. Maybe it changed our everyday routine. Maybe it changed our family dynamics, because this could very well be a family situation. And someone feeling like they're always left out of family situations. And again, your intuition will guide you if you listen to it. Get yourself in a good, calm, balanced, and I was going to say environment, but I don't want to sound like exterior environment, within ourselves. So we're in a good place. We can listen to our intuition. We can let it tell us what we need to know. And with the new knowledge, move forward rationally. Find those different ways to solve problems in this air mindset. Right then, Leo. So there may be a transformation this week. It could be quite gentle, to be honest, because any other cards on here, I want to say, well, I suppose with the Temperance there is a transformation of some kind there. So them two could just sit as the same card, really. But we've got patience in this card. We're calm. We've got balance. It's the main focus is the balance in this card. Get ourselves balanced correctly. You see, I can see here someone saying you're too emotional, you. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. You're too emotional. I'm trying to get you to question your reactions to things. If we're balanced and centered, our intuition kicks in and we know, we can see plainly that's them turning this round on us to make us look like the bad one, to seclude us. The answer to that is speaking our truth. They either like it or they don't. And if someone treats you like that, and purposely, they might even say it about your intuition, that it's not right and you're crazy, and I've had it all over the years. I've been there and I can just see it. But if we stand up for ourselves, we put them good boundaries and we listen to our own wisdom. These two cards here are saying you have got that connection. You don't need to rely on anyone else. Between all four cards, really, you have got every tool you need to have that connection to our higher selves, to our intuition, and set our boundaries and stand up for our beliefs and trust our feelings, trust our intuition. And when you can do that from a place of total balance and calmness, that is an amazing place to be. Absolutely amazing place to be. Because what would knock us into this Five of Pentacles energy won't even come knocking on the door when we're in this energy flow. We won't even entertain it. It won't even enter our heads as a worry or a concern. And when we look at these cards, Leo, there's not one worry card. There's not one thought card. It's very much about what's happening in the materialistic plane around us at the minute. And us tapping into our intuition to make best of a situation where we don't feel we quite fit. But if we have the conversation about it, express how we feel and our intuition, our thoughts about it, the problem should be solved and easily rectified to becoming a situation where both energies are putting in equally, which makes everybody happy. It could be a love situation. We have got someone, as I say, that's not treating us right and even playing with our emotions. We feel we're left out. We feel we're not treated properly. One gives more to the other, or one's not included in things. So we move into the air energy. We speak our truth about how we feel. We speak our truth about our intuition. And it puts the situation right. It actually moves that love situation to where it should be. And these kind of feelings, these kind of connections. If we're moving from the 5 to the 6, there is a transformation of how we think. How we think led to how we spoke. We spoke our truth, and that turned the situation around. That made a partner or a person in this scenario see it from the other side and change attitudes, which would be a change of a death. Once we're at this 10 of Cups spot again, we're there at the 10 of Cups, then we can look at even travel. We can look at building this relationship more. If that is the coming together of a relationship, the 10s do talk of change. So there's going to be some kind of emotional change once this is worked through. Think laterally about it. Use the Queen of Swords energy, that mental agility. Try unusual approaches to solving problems. try doing something different than we'd normally do. But it talks about a dynamic attitude, having a really good attitude and wanting to get things moving. The Death card still could run at the end of that. That's where we are now. Because we've completed this, we're ready for a transformation and a change for the better. You know, let go what isn't working anymore. This negative mindset, if we are looking at the Ace of Fives as a loss. And let's welcome that transformation to a more even balanced exchange of energy. There could be an unexpected meeting with a female this week. Out of the blue, we may have a female friend or relative, or just turn up, or we bump into him somewhere. Maybe her opinion or her way of looking at things is something that we realise we should probably do ourselves, or look at our situation from that perspective. She may be the one coming and saying this is happening to her and wanting your perspective on it. Now, as I say, at the moment, intuition and our connection to the energies is fantastic this week for that. So you should be able to actually help and give the friendly advice or support that they need at this time. Right, with that said then, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully you'll have a great week, and thank you for coming and watching, and I hope we'll see you again next week. Have a good one.